Hi, this is Conor again. Today's topic, where are the meat prices heading to with inflation? Let's take a look all the way back to 1977. And the prices then was about 35.55. And the recent low was about $82 about here. That's in 2020 at the start of the pandemic. And if I'm going to minus off the years, which is 44 years, and if I'm going to minus off the prices, 82 minus by 35 divided by 44, what we are getting here is an inflation rate, annual inflation rate of about 3% per annum over the last 44 years. And that's pretty much aligned to the central bank objective to have about inflation of about 2 to about 3% per annum. I think that's really interesting here. So today the topic that we're going to discuss here is number one, about the long-term direction of live cattle, and it will be a good indication of the general commodities as well. And using that example, we're going to lead to some trading ideas. And the last part, we're going to discuss about investing ideas using the first example on the first part. Now, before that disclaimer, so please take some time to read through the disclaimer box here or below. And let's go to the first part right now about the long-term direction of live cattle or commodities market. And if you still remember the first few videos, and in fact, all the videos that what we have done is that we are expert by now in drawing trend line. And basically what are two rules in drawing trend line. Number one is that in this uptrend, as we could see here, what we need to do is to find at least three significant trough. That's rule number one, at least three significant trough. And then after that, we're going to do the best fit. And that's rule number two. And we're going to apply throughout the first part, second part, which is trading ideas, and then the last part, which is investment ideas on this concept, how to draw a trend line, to give us a general feel about the commodity market, especially in this case, the meat market, over the short term and over the long term as well. Now let's get started here. And we got to start somewhere. And let's see, we find the lowest point. And then after that, we make some adjustment. Okay. It looks perfect to me. Yeah, for the first try. And that's first low, second low, and third low. That we see it kind of connected so well. And what we could do here is to just project a I could gonna clone this, and maybe for the next 1 or 2 years, that's the first objective is about 82 or maybe higher. Why is it high? Because along the timeline, this will adjust higher. Okay, so that is generally the long-term direction of the live capital I'm seeing here. And now let's look at the monthly chart. Yeah, applying the same theory before we get into the trading concept, some ideas here. Now, earlier what we saw was the live cattle futures on 3 months chart, which is quarterly chart. And that's what we see. And that's why we could track back all the way to 1977. And now we're going to look closer to the monthly chart here. And we can apply the same concept as we could see before this trend pickup. It was a period of downtrend from about 2015 all the way here before the pandemic start. So now in a downtrend, we got to apply opposite, which is instead of looking for three significant trough, now we are looking for three significant peaks. And we're going to see if this have broken the downtrend. Now, applying the same rules, you still remember the same rules. Two rules are, first, we need to find at least three significant peaks. Then after that, we do the best adjustment, which is find the best fit here. And this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to rest here. And then maybe I'm going to extend this a little bit more. And I kind of like this downtrend since 2015. We could see that it touches this high exactly, almost on the neckline here at the opening price and at a peak here. So these are three significant peaks I'm talking about. And this, I would say that is a good downtrend line that we have drawn. And what we're seeing here is somewhere around the March 2021, it has convincingly broke above this downtrend line. And also, let me just bring your attention here to the indicator here I'm using is called the MACD. What I'm seeing here is as the market move lower, we are seeing some divergence here. Okay. Now, as the market was on the downtrend before this break, it was a lower low, but as we look down on the MACD, it was a higher low, and this clearly to me, it is a divergence. On the downtrend divergence, it means that this bear market during this period is losing some momentum, waiting for a break. And this became very clear to me that it was a clear break. And then what I'm seeing here for the meat prices, it should be going on the continuous uptrend. In case you're a bit lost, where's the inflation right now? Is it going to tame off? And my answer to you right now is that looking at these studies, no, I do not think so. I think that meat prices is going to continue to move up from here. Now, let's go back to the second part of our curriculum today. Let's look at some trading ideas to apply the same techniques. Now, trading ideas, what I will use is that maybe we got to look at the shorter term. And there's something that I find really interesting here. And because of this tutorial that we're getting into, I just want to know exactly what is the interest for live cattle. And among all the commodities, I'm not too sure you can see, maybe it's a bit small. Let me just expand here a little bit. That among all the commodities that you see, that live cattle is the most tradable, or I would say the most participation. We have about 28,000 here compared to all the commodities. And if I'm going to compare to the hot favorite, which is the E-mini NASDAQ futures, there's about 38,000 contract. And honestly, the live cattle is not too far off, 28,000 contract. It demonstrates that there is really interest in the meat contracts that we are maybe you are about to trade. Now let's go over to the part 2 of today's program about trading ideas, applying the same techniques. Now I'm going to move to the hourly chart. I'm going to share something with you here is that I find it so interesting here. Now, do you realize that certain characteristic about trading the commodities market? That's what I realize here is that when the commodity market, the trend is set, when it's transit from, say, for example, in this case, from a bear market to a bull market, usually it is very, very trendy. And that's what we are seeing here on the 60 minutes chart. It is very trendy. And that's why I see in the characteristic of the commodity market generally. And we're going to apply the same technique to see whether this the trend line applies. In this uptrend, what are the two rules? Number one is that we have to find at least 3 significant trough, and we connect dots, and then we do the best adjustment. Start from here, all the way, and we good to make some adjustment. I'm going to extend this a little bit here. And I would say that, okay, I think this falls here. Now I would say that, no, I got to adjust here a little bit more. I kind of like this. There's a lowest point, and it's almost touched at a lowest point. Maybe I'm going to adjust here. Anyway, I think this is good enough for me. And if I were to trade on position for the meat contract, and this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to trade along this channel, which I'm pretty happy with it. So it provides me as a guideline where it is heading. Buy on dips, sell into strength. So or take profit into strength. So I hope that you find that this is useful. And say, for example, if I'm looking into the 50 minutes time frame, yeah, and say maybe through this tutorial you got some interest in you that perhaps you may be looking into trading the meat contract. And first of all, if you understand how it works here is that, say for example, if I purchase at 144 and if I've took profit at 145, say for example. So first of all, if you understand that the minimum movement, the contract states that is minimum movement is by 0.025 cents, is worth 10 US dollars. And I take the liberty to convert it to 10 cents move for easier reference. 10 cents means times 4, times 4. Every 10 cents move is 40 US dollars. So I need to know that if I purchase at 145 or 144, in this case 145, exactly what is the total worth I'm carrying over in terms of dollar value. So I convert it to everything to 10 cents, which is 1450 times 40. It worked out to be 58 US dollars. So in every trading, whatever commodities are trading or futures contract or even stock market, I have this policy for my own risk management is that I have to know what is my total risk exposure. Whether I'm using margin or not, that separate matters, but I have to know what's my total contract. In this case, at 145, the total contract that I'm holding overnight is $58,000. So I have to ask myself, am I comfortable with that holding a total exposure of $58,000? Now, in that context of, say, a holding period of about a few days, from 144 to 145, what is my potential profit or loss? It is at 400 US dollars. Now, let's go back to the quarterly chart. That's where we get this idea about some investing ideas on the meat prices. So, and we're moving to the last part here about investing ideas on the meat prices is this. Now, I have this a little hack here to project the coming CPI data and also to know how aggressive the Fed will be with interest rate. Now, you can consider to track the development of these edible commodity prices. If it is still trending up, so we should be expecting a higher CPI or a high interest rate. Yeah, with a high CPI, it means that the inflationary pressure is still kicking in, and I'm expecting a high interest rate. So what we could do is that based on the studies in all front, in 3 months, monthly, hourly, 15 minutes chart is all pointing up. And I just want to point out to you here is that before I get into the investing ideas is that could you see that there's something, this behavior that I'm seeing here that throughout the last 40 years, that this low was the lowest point, and that was during 2020. And I felt that there's a lot of runway for the MACD to continue to run. And I'm suspecting that, yes, my target is about 182. But what if it kind of break above this channel? And I felt that the MACD, the strength of this, there's a lot of runway for the commodities, in this case, the meat prices, to continue to run up. So that's what I'm seeing here. So now for investing ideas, what you could do is that since we're starting into the raw prices of the meat prices here, that we have a sense that the direction of the prices, the commodity prices is still moving towards the north. So what we could do here is that you try to Google, say, meat ETF or meat fund. I'm sure you're able to find some of them. So what I just introduced here was that is live cattle futures. It is not suitable for long-term investment. Those are for trading. And for investment, it's better for you to get into commodities ETF or fund. So try to Google it. And I have a challenge for you is that you try to apply what we just shared here about 3 significant trough at least, and you're trying to find the best fit. And whatever fund or ETF you're looking at, you try to apply and see if it works for you. Continue to explore this topic with these related videos and register for these webinars as well. Follow my Facebook page for my daily market insights. To be updated with my latest video, subscribe to my channel and remember to turn on the notification bell. See you again very, very, very soon.